Alright guys, I have the Mamba plugged in on the 6L 1800 that I mentioned. Everything is working, and I did want to do a quick demonstration of the Aura flight modes. So even though you don't have like a safe receiver kind of thing that Horizon does, where if you like bank and it goes back, it doesn't have that, but it has more of like an AS3X system, and it already programs your flight modes for you. So this is I don't know what they call it. I'm just gonna say beginner mode, and then this is intermediate, and then this is advanced, so you can see the maximum amount of deflection out of those DS17 servos. So I'm actually going to be flying it on let me see, I'm going to be flying it on intermediate first. The throws are still huge, however I do want to get used to them, because I found from other aerobatic planes that if I fly on low rates first, I will not get used or get accustomed to the high rates. So we're going to be doing this first. And you can feel the power out of that 6-cell battery. Hold on. We have someone on the runway. Busy day today. Last check. Not really worried about this airplane. Think this airplane will be worried about me. So, taking off. Okay, I'm going to low rates. Need to trim her out. Looks like it might have been tail heavy. Okay, there we go. I think our elevator was yeah, our elevator was misaligned. I thought that because we had the heavier battery, it was going to fix itself, but I guess not. It's flying really good right now though. This thing is flying immaculately already. Oh my lord. The roll rate. Try a hover. I'm in love. That's it. Simple. Let's try it. The final roll rate. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. Oh my goodness. How does an airplane do that? Let's go negative. Let's pull negative G's. This airplane's like defying physics. Test knife edge. I can go lower. Yeah, I'm gonna go lower. Just so impressed with this plane. Just high alphaing her. Clear! The flight time said 4 to 6 minutes depending on your flight style. I'm doing a really basic flight. You know, I'm not full power all the time. So I think I'm gonna get more juice out of her. Actually, I'm already at a minute. I think I can fly for a little longer though. You know, I'm surprised. I thought with the high roll rate it was going to be really twitchy for me, but it's not. There's a gyro kill option, and that basically turns off the AS3X like thing. Let's see how she flies on that. Okay. I do notice a little bit of a difference. Okay, that's cool. And if we put the aura back on, yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So you are kind of guided. It's not like it's flying the plane for you. Someone's on the runway.
I think it's time to land, John.
Yeah, someone's on the runway. Alright, landing. Just gonna say it right now, flying this plane is absolute perfection. I've truly have never flown a plane this good. It flew like one of those really bad 3D planes on real flight where it doesn't feel like it has physics. Like, this plane is defying physics. It's what it feels like. I thought the throws were gonna throw me off because you can see here you have like these really monstrous throws, right? But it didn't. It just felt like a normal plane. And I was flying with the aura most of the time, but when I took it off, I did feel a bit of a difference. It feels like it does help you in like your turns or whatever, but it's just, I'm so surprised with this plane. It definitely exceeded my expectations. What am I gonna say? When you're doing like throwing your 6 in the corner, like knife edge spins, whatever, if you're doing hovering, it does all of that perfectly. If you just throw your sticks in a corner, it does exactly what you think it's gonna do. It's very predictable. You can definitely feel the weight in the air. It's super light. Paired with the power system, it's an awesome flyer. I was able to get a really nice vertical. Hovering was super easy, tremendously easy. So Flex Innovations did an amazing job. And Kike Somenzini, the one who designed it, did probably perfectly. Kike Somenzini is also the person who designed the E-Flight UMX Beast for Horizon Hobby when he still worked for Horizon Hobby. And you can see there is his little decal signature, but it's amazing what this plane can do. So off camera, I'm gonna go play with her a little more. I'm just so surprised. This is like absolute perfection of an airplane. So yeah, thanks for tuning to John's RC. And if you're new to this channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye guys, I'll see you in the next one.
Awesome flight, John. Good job.
Hey guys, John here, and welcome back to John's RC. And today I am here with the Mamba 10 G2 by Flex Innovations. Now, I've been wanting this Mamba for some time now. I just love the way it looks, I love the airframe, and also I was just interested in trying out a plane from Flex Innovations for a while. So this is what we got. Our hobby shop actually started selling Flex Innovations. I was super surprised, and we found out the other week, so we just had to come back and secure this little Mamba. So the Mamba actually comes in a variety of sizes. We have the Mamba 10 G1, the G2, which is this one. There's the Mamba 60e, then you have the Mamba 70cc, and the Mamba 120cc. So I think this is a really good size. I think my friend has the Mamba 10 G1, and that looked really cool. So yeah, this came as a plug-and-play kit, so that means you have to supply yourself with your own transmitter, flight battery charger. But this time, instead of supplying yourself with the receiver, we have to supply ourselves with a Spektrum satellite receiver. And we're gonna put a picture of that on the screen right now. It's actually being blocked by the wing, the bottom wing, so we can't actually show you. But I can show you the flight control system that we have in here. So the Mamba comes pre-equipped with Flex Innovations Aura 8 AFCS, or Advanced Flight Control System. And this basically does all of the work for you while also adding the gyro, kind of similar to Safe Select and AS3X, but Flex Innovations version of it. So you can see all of the servo leads go into the Aura, and that does all of the work. And I can't actually show you, but in here you can see that little plug. That's a DSMX satellite receiver, and it seats right here, and that's going to be transmitting the DSMX protocol that allows you to use whatever transmitter. It doesn't have to be a DSMX protocol. You can use like a Futaba S-Bus receiver or a JR, whatever your transmitter brand is, and you'll be able to fly this. Now, of course, the other option, without needing to use a satellite receiver, if you don't want, if you just want like a basic plane setup, you can just take out the Aura and put in your own just traditional receiver. So this thing has a wingspan of 1033 millimeters with a length of 1102 millimeters. It's not my biggest plane, however it is very light and it is very powerful, and you will see why in a second. So this model has a flying weight of 1540 grams, and for this size it looks a bit like a hunk, but it's actually surprisingly light. Now, the main difference between the Mamba 10 G1 and the Mamba 10 G2 is the Mamba 10 G1 used a 3-cell power system. However, Flex Innovation started doing this 6S raw power thing. You can actually see it on the side of the cowling. 6S raw power, and which implies it's using a 6-cell battery, and it's actually going to give you more flight time, of course more throttle, amongst other things. So this is actually where the battery goes. The recommended battery is a 6-cell 1300 to 1500 mAh battery pack. However, I don't have one of those, so we're using a bigger battery. This is a 6-cell 1800 mAh battery pack from Spektrum, and this battery we actually use for our T-Rex 470 and our Blade Fusion 360 now that it's on a 6S. So yeah, it's going to be quite a powerful plane with a light airframe, so I'm super excited to see that. The motor that we have in here is 23D Potenza 600 kV brushless outrunner motor, and that's attached to this really nice Flex Innovations prop. It's super lightweight, and I think it's a beautiful prop. It reminds me of the one that's on the E-Flight Extra 300, because that also has a balsa prop out of the box. So yeah, I'm super excited to see the performance. Now, of course, if you're getting a plane of this size, you're going to have to build it. And that's my main critique on this plane for now. I don't know how it flies, but for now, that's my main critique on the plane. So it started off fairly simple until we got to the wing, which I'll get to in a second, but let's start from the tail, because that's where we started. So we start by inserting the tail into these little harnesses right here, and there's actually a joiner tube that you can see here in the little corner. There's a joiner tube, and you just connect the two halves, and then Flex actually wanted you to tape these together using 4 strips of tape. So there's one here, one on the other side, and 2 on the bottom. And then we had to insert the ball linkage to the control board, and that was also a problem because for some reason our ball link came backwards, and I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it was facing the wrong way, so we couldn't see the hole. We just saw a little metal ball, so we had to get pliers, pry that out, and then flip it to the correct way. We could see the hole to put the linkage through, and then we just screwed it in like that on the closest in hole for the maximum deflection, which is also what Flex wanted you to do. Now, actually I forgot to talk about the landing gear. The landing gear is the first step, which is just held on by 4 screws on this little bracket. So you put it into this little slot and you secure it with these 4 screws. Next is the tail wheel, which is very similar to the landing gear. You just stick it into the slot, and then it's held on by a bracket with 3 screws this time. The rudder was already done for you. Now this is where things got janky. So because it's a biplane, of course you're gonna have to put in some extra work already. However, we were super unprepared for this build. So you can see here, we have these 4 cabane struts on the top. They come in 2 different sizes. So the 2 shorter cabane struts are on the front, and the 2 longer cabane struts are on the back. Makes sense, it's a biplane. There's screws that you have to align. There's a little hole on the top of the cabane strut, and you kind of just push it into this little mounts, and then you screw it in for all 4. Now here, we did not realize this. We thought it was gonna be a different type of adhesive, if adhesive at all. You actually have to use 15-minute epoxy on these bottom mounts for the cabane struts. Now we did not have epoxy, so we ran over to our local hobby shop, got epoxy, and continued with our build. So these, for some reason, just took some time. I think we were being a little slow in the build. It's like, what's the word? It's easier said than done. Just sitting these 4 cabane struts. And then the next part of the build is putting on the interplane struts onto the bottom wing before you secure it. So you can see here, you kind of just stick the 2 interplane struts, and then you can see here they are screwed on to the top of the wing. However, before you even get to that part, you have to screw on the bottom wing to here. So you can see we have these 2 little pegs that go into the fuselage, and then it's secured on by 1 screw. And of course 1 screw is not going to be enough to hold this puppy, so it's also going to be held on by the interplane struts. And I forgot to mention the interplane struts also have 4 screws for the bottom wing. So you have the 2 here, and the bottom part of the interplane struts were very easy to do because we were joining them together. It's just fairly simple. However, when we got to the top where we had to link the 2 wing halves together, that became really annoying to do. So what you have to do is just connect. There's 2 little pegs on the top of the strut, and that just connects onto the wing, and then you're supposed to just screw them together. Now that's sounds easy. However, we couldn't get to the 2 pegs to connect to the top wing. We had to my very professional idea was just shaking the wing until it clicked, because that's what worked. I don't know if there's a real reason or real way, to do this. So yeah, we just had to mess around with it until it clicked, then secure the 2 screws. Same thing on this side, and there we go. Doing this, we actually kind of damaged the left interplane strut. Not by much, we didn't like rip it in half or whatever, but you can see here there's a bit of a crinkle. That's because when we were trying to put this part, for some reason or another, we pushed the 2 wings together, and that caused a fold in between the struts, but it's not damaged in any way, it's just a little fold. So yeah, another thing that I wanted to mention is that these little shark teeth leading edges actually do serve a purpose, which is actually really cool. They're actually to give more control over the aileron, and also when you're in a high alpha, it's going to help negate wing rocking and a tip stall, so that's really, really cool. And last thing, really quick, this is an actually upgraded design over the G1, which is super unique. I've never seen this on a plane before, but if I just take the thumb screw out, it's a thumb screw, and this battery tray comes out, which is super nice. It's just plywood construction, and if you're wondering what this is, it's called Uma Grip. I got this idea from Tail Heavy Productions, but because this is plywood construction, and if you lay like a strong Velcro over it, when you're pulling out the battery, this plywood is going to be very prone to breaking. So what this is just a sticky tack, so it's not going to hold in your battery like Velcro would. That's what the Velcro strap is for. So this is just to stop the moving or sliding of the battery onto the tray. So yeah, just really cool design from Flex. I really like this little battery tray. So yeah, I think that's about it if I recall. So let's go and flyer.